we're back. It's been over 2 months since the last part, and so I think that we're well overdue for part 7 of Scotland's biggest degenerates. Now, before I jump straight into the video, I just have a quick message. Now, if you've been following me for some time, you'll know that I'm about a week away, not even a week away, just a couple of days now, from finishing my uni journey. And I have thought about what I want to do when I completely finish. And one thing that I am so sure that I want to keep doing is YouTube and content creation. So if I'm going to be putting my all into this channel, then that means that I really have to step it up, and that means bigger videos, better content, pretty much. Now, I want to keep talking to you guys, and I want to hear your stories. So if anybody that is watching this video right now, if you have a story that you want shared, it could be a catfish, a fraudster, abuser, toxic people in your life, I would be more than happy to have you on this channel, whether it be through interviews, investigations or collaborations, and I'm talking like documentary type videos. Now, if this sounds right up your street, you can contact me at ItstaylorfoxYT@gmail.com, or you can message me on any of my socials, which are linked in the description. Now, I would absolutely love to hear from you guys, and do what I can to help if possible. As well, I do have to put a trigger warning for this video, as I always have to do, because this video covers topics such as young person's abuse, abuse, CP, etc. So this could be a hard watch, and viewer discretion is advised. Now, without further ado, let's just jump straight into the video. Amelia Connelly. So 23-year-old Amelia Connelly is an activist who was involved with the Young Scots for Independence, which is a youth wing of the Scottish National Party, as well as Gay Pride and the Scottish branch of Young European Movement. Now, upon doing my research, I actually learned that this girl went to my uni. Now, I could have sworn that I'd seen her face somewhere before, and it turns out that she was part of the LGBTQ plus society, so I've definitely seen her around. Now, the reason that she is on this list is because on the 30th of October 2024, Amelia used an AI generation software to create indecent images of children. Now, 4 images were created, which appeared to be a child's face on an adult body, posed in suggestive posing. Now, 3 of the images were rated as category B, and 1 image was rated as category C. Now, category B is like the middle rating, A is the most serious, and C is like the least serious. Now, Amelia actually pled guilty to making indecent pseudo-photographs of children, contrary to the 1982 Civic Government Scotland Act. However, her sentencing has been deferred until the 1st of May. Andrew McLaughlin. So this is Andrew McLaughlin. Now, he is a 40-year-old man from Port Glasgow, and he's currently in the news for cruelty to his dog. On the 26th of November 2024, Andrew went to the small animal hospital in Glasgow, where he handed in his deceased bulldog, who was just 5 years old. Now, it was very clear that the dog was not taken care of very well. Her ribs, hips and spine were clearly visible, and there appeared to be no fat or muscle on her body. And the bulldog as well weighed just 10.5 kilograms, whereas a dog of her age, breed and size should have weighed around 23 kilograms, which is less than half of what she should have weighed. Now, the vets examined the poor dog and concluded that the dog's incredible weight loss would have occurred approximately over a period of around 6 weeks to possibly 6 to 12 months if food was acutely withheld but water was provided. They also concluded that several diseases were active in the dog at the time of her death, which may have been exacerbated by a calorie deficit. So Andrew pled guilty to a charge of causing the dog unnecessary suffering by failing to provide adequate food and water and failing to seek appropriate veterinary attention for her bodily condition, ultimately causing her death by starvation. Now, his sentence has been deferred until the 22nd of April. A Crown motion is also being considered to ban Andrew from having any animals in the future. Marie O'Gorman and Mary Maguire. So both Marie and Mary were nuns, and they were employed at the Nazareth House, which used to serve as an orphanage, but is now an elderly care home in Cordonald. Now, Marie O'Gorman was described as a disciplinarian when she began her services at the Sisters of Nazareth congregation in 1963, sorry, fuck. During which time she would struck children with various objects such as a leather harness and leather belts. Now, one victim recalled that if she wet the bed, she would be taken to the bathroom, forced to stand in freezing bath water, and would have freezing cold water poured over her. The same victim also stated that she was once forced to wear a nappy in front of all of the other children. So Mary Maguire then joined the congregation in 1975, and she was employed at Nazareth House between 1979 and 1981. Now, just like her colleague and fellow sister, Mary was also described as a disciplinarian. When you think of scary nuns, not this nun, but these two meet the strict stereotype. Now, Mary would also strike children with belts, even for like mere incidents when one victim lost a sandal while they were out on a trip. And another girl was struck in the back of the head with a hairbrush after she was allegedly misbehaving in a chapel. I mean, when you think back, like, to that time, and I'm sure many of you watching this video will have lived in a time when, you know, it was normal to be struck by a teacher, like, in the hands with a belt, or receive, like, similar punishments, like being slapped or spanked for misbehaving, like, by parents. But times change, and this is completely unacceptable now, and is now considered to be child abuse. I mean, upon researching these homes, I came across details on how the nuns had lied to one victim, stating that her parents had passed away when they weren't. Another victim was also told that she was in that home because she was a bad child, and her mother couldn't cope with her because she was evil. Now, another victim was just 8 years old when she was SA'd repeatedly. One nun told her that the devil was inside her and held her down while the child was R-worded by a priest. Now, this happened over a 4-year period, and she was R-worded by several different men. Several other victims came forward as well from all of the different homes, and they reported abuse by priests and care assistants during their times in the homes, and they were beaten brutally if they tried to report the abuse. Geette Ravat. This 29-year-old woman from Clydebank made headlines last month after she was jailed for a fake pregnancy scam. Now, Georgette conned a 25-year-old man out of over £6,000, whom she met online on the social platform Kik. Now, she later claimed that she was expecting his child and demanded cash to buy her silence. Otherwise, she would tell his mother. So she also asked for £250 for some items during an apparent 1 week long stay in a hospital. Now, if the man failed to comply, the woman threatened that her cousin would quote unquote go mental and inflict violence upon him if he didn't meet her requests. Now, the man was of course frightened for his safety, and so he called the police. Now, Georgette pled guilty in May of 2025 at Glasgow Sheriff Court to extorting charges. A warrant was put out for her arrest after she failed to appear at a string of sentencing hearings. Now, she was actually arrested, of course, and sentenced to 15 months in prison with a further 6 months supervision upon her release from prison. James Neal. Now, this is where it starts to get extremely disturbing. Now, this 82-year-old grandfather from Bathgate, dubbed the Beast of Bog Hall, was convicted of serious offences against 5 schoolgirls between 1977 and 2023. Now, he used lewd, indecent behaviour against 3 victims and essayed 1 victim. Now, they were all aged between 5 and 12 at the time of the abuse. Now, his last offence, which was committed in May of 2023, resulted in him ultimately being charged. Now, the victims was 13 to 15-year-old at the time. During the trial, the first victim told the court how James had exposed himself to the young girl in his home. She stated how he repeatedly kissed her on the mouth, laid on top of her, and pressed his bits against her body. He lifted her off the ground, placing his hand under her underwear and assaulting her when she was aged between 5 and 12. Now his second victim stated how between the ages of 7 and 10 he would repeatedly place his arms around her, kiss her on the mouth, lift her up, attempting to SA her through her underwear. And his third victim gave similar evidence from when she was between 5 and 11. Same again with the next two victims. Crimes against children are the most evil, deplorable thing that a person can do, and I hope that once James Neal gets sentenced at the end of this month, he rots in jail for a long time. Serenity Frances Johnston. Now, 34-year-old Serenity Johnston, a transgender female, was recently convicted of a series of attacks against young girls between November 2006 and April 2012. Now, Serenity, formerly known as David, would target young girls between the ages of 8 and 15. Now, I don't have words to describe how horrific this abuse was, but I'm sure you can imagine. Now, his first victim was aged just 9 years old when the abuse started. Now, the court heard how he would R-word several young girls. One of the most disgusting acts that one can do. This is the face of just pure evil. Pure evil. During the trial, the defence argued that Serenity had a troubled childhood and was subjected to a lot of serious bullying, which results in her now having to take medication for anxiety, which is just absolutely no excuse. There is no excuse in this world for pure evil. Now, what is disturbing as well is that the defence claims that Serenity is now in a loving relationship with a woman and has the support of family members. Like, to me, anyone who supports predators in any way are degenerates also, and they deserve to be named and shamed. Now, Serenity was sentenced to 9 years in prison, which in my opinion is absolutely nowhere near enough time for the crime committed, and was placed on the offenders register for life. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully I'll be back very soon with part 8. Is it part 8? I've said part 7 and I'm pretty sure we're on part 8. I'll clarify. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all we've got. I am now just a couple of days away from finishing uni. Oh, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I got my grade back for my last ever assignment ever, and I got 75, which is pretty good. That's a first. So, I mean, I'll take that. I've got 2 exams left, and my dissertation is due in... shite in math. 5 days. 5 days! Oh my god, that's crazy to me. 5 days for my dissertation. I've got a few edits to do and then that's me finished. But anyways, yeah, that's it. I'll be back soon to doing 2 weekly uploads. I think I've got 1 more week. Yeah, next week I'll have a video out on Wednesday, and then after that I believe we'll be back to 2 videos per week, I think, if I can keep this up. I'm trying. But yeah, anyways, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!